So good morning everyone. Right, student, yes, yesterday you raised some question. Okay man. So today we are about to conclude the concept of percentages. But before I conclude the concept, okay students, so before we conclude the concept of averages, let me explain why this topic is so important and why we consider this topic as an anchor of the remaining many other topics. So let me explain this in detail. Okay, now yes, come on student, now please answer these questions. Before I move on to next concept, please answer these questions. Okay, right. So today is about, we are about to conclude man. So if you find any confusions, if you find any doubts, today you need to confirm all those. Okay student, so let me give you some questions and expect you to answer this. Ready? Student, be ready man. I am going to give some questions to you. So these are about the percentage calculations. I just want to check it out, how good you are in calculations. So let me check it out. So here we go. Come on student, yeah, please respond. What is 60% of 420? Come on, yes, give your answer. So exactly, so because 50% is 210, yeah, very good, and 10% of 420 is 42, your answer should have been 252. Very well done, very well done. I understand that yes, we are going very strong and you the people are looking very good. Now okay man, let me ask you one more question. Right, question number 2. Come on student, please answer this question. What is 65% of, come on student, 840, quick. So you may not be able to find 65% straight away. Find 50% man, 50% is 420, 10% is 84 and 5% is 42, and hence your answer must be 546. Please go ahead. Now we look at next one, question number 3. Come on man, yes, please get this answer. What is 95% of, 1400? Quick. What is 95% of 1400? Student, if you want to get the 95%, may not be possible to get straight away, but you can do one thing. 100% of 1400 is anyway 1400. But you are asked to find 95%, which means to say that you have to subtract 5% from that. So 5% is 70, and hence your answer must be 1330. One more question, let me check it out how you are doing this. Come on student, what is 102% of? What is 102% of 400 and, okay, let us assume 400. What is 102% of 400? Quick! 1 or 2%. Okay, that's very good. Yeah, you know that what is 100%? 100% is 400. You have to add 2% to that. Very good. Because every 1% is 4. 2% is 8. Hence your answer is 408. Student, this is about the percentages. You might understood the significance of percentages man, you might understood the significance of percentages. Student, so I think yeah, today we are about to conclude this particular topic man. So we are about to conclude the concept of percentages. I just want to give you some interesting concepts over here. Please write down, find the percentage increase. Find the percentage increase in the following questions. Find the percentage increase. Right student, now I want to give some questions to you. You need to get the answer. Please do it. So when 400 becomes 480, student, tell me, what is the percentage increase? So how do we do it? So 400 becomes 480. We can see that value increases by 80. So when it comes to percentage increase, what we do, man? 80 by 400 into 100. Therefore, your answer is 20%. Come on student, please do the question something like this. Here we go. 600, if 600 becomes 630, please calculate what is percentage increase. Yeah. If 140 becomes 154, please calculate percentage increase. Make it fast. You need to know what is percentage increase. Student, let me suppose that 600 becomes 630, we can see a difference of 30. Therefore, 30 is the increase out of 600. If we want to get in percentage, yeah, it comes around 5%. We can see the percentage growth is 5%. Very well done, very well done, very well done. So look at the next one. 140 becomes 154. So there is an increase of 14. 14 is the increase out of 140. So when it comes to percentage, multiply by 100. So you see there is a percentage increase of 10%. Yeah, very good, very good. So 5% and 10%. Very good student, I appreciate that. Yes, you are doing extremely well. So this is what we call is the percentage increase. Of course, percentage decrease is also something like that. Increase or decrease, and both basing on the same concept. So that is very important one. Student, I want to tell you, please listen to me. For example, if I say, just look at that, yes. Come on student. For example, there are two villages, village A and there is another village, village B. So let me suppose that there are two villages A and B. So on conducting coronavirus cases, on conducting the test, we found that from village A, it was actually 40. So cases of 40 becomes 50. So this is the situation in village A. And when it comes to village B, my dear students, when it comes to village B, just look at that. So corona cases were actually 80 and they become 92. Actually corona cases were 80, now they become 92. Now students, I just want to check it out, which village seem to be under serious pressure when it comes to corona cases. Come on students, so how do we come to know that? So student, we see that corona cases increases by 10 in village A, corona cases increases by 12 in village B. So if you are not good at quantitative aptitude, my dear student, you may jump into the conclusion that village B is worst affected. No, it is not the case, because it is not just the number, it is the percentage calculation. You understand that? It is percentage calculation. Very good student, very good. So we see that increases by 10 when we compare with the 40. So 10 by 40 into 100 is the percentage calculation. My dear student, 4 cancels for how many times? 25. We declare that percentage increase is 25%. We declare that 25% is the percentage increase in village A. When it comes to village B, let us see what is the percentage increase. 12 is the increase divided by 80 into 100. So let us calculate. 20 cancels for 4 times, 25 times, 4 cancel for 3 times, 3 into 5, 15. So we can see village B, there is an increase of 15%. I hope you understand this. Now we can declare that village A is worst affected. Yeah, it is highly affected when we compare with B. So that is the significance of percentages. Do you understand? So do you understand the significance of percentage calculations? So any government employees usually take the decision basing on this. That is the significance of percentages. Students, so okay, so today we concluded the topic because we are already good at quants and we are already good at calculations. Now I think this is the time, today is the time to conclude this topic, and tomorrow we start the new one. Okay? Okay, today we conclude this, so please look at that. So yes, this question is already done. A's income is 25% more than B and B's income is 20% more than C. So this is the question. Students are asking me to explain this question again. Yeah, please look at that. Okay man, just look at that. Please look at this question man. Now here we go. We have three persons A, B and C. Listen to this. A depends on, the value of A depends on B, and of course value of B depends on A. Student, just look at that. We have to start from C because value of A depends on B and value of B depends on C. If we know C, we will be knowing B. If we know B, we will be knowing A. So when C is taken 100, so B is 120. You know why B is 120? Because B is 20% more than C. So B is equal to 120. So when B is equal to 120, A is 25% more than B, 25% more. What is 25% of 120? 25% of 120 is 30. How do you know that? 25% of 120. How do we know that, my dear students? 25% is 1 by 4. 1 by 4 of 120 is 30. 120 plus 30, 150. You understand that? Because A is 20% more than, 25% more than B. Now the question is, by what percent is E's income more than C? You know student, why I took C in the denominator? Because you are comparing with C. So whatever the number you are comparing, that should be taken in the denominator. So C value is 100. So when comparing with C, A income is 50 more. If you want the same in percentage, your answer is 50%. Right students, so this is all about the question number 1. This is what actually we discussed yesterday. Now I think we can move on to next model, right? Okay. This, all the questions are discussed, and this one is also handled, and now we are about to discuss the last question. So here we go. Student, please look at the question. What is the question? Just look at that. In an examination, 30% and 35% students respectively failed in history and geography. 30% students failed in geography and 35% failed in history. You see that. But 27% students failed in both the subjects. My dear students, whenever this kind of questions are given, we have to answer this question by using this is Venn diagram. I think you understand. Student, I say understand your question, I will explain to you. Right? Now just look at that. So let us assume that this is the people who failed in history. This is the people who failed in history. The second one, and this is the students who failed in geography. So let us assume that there are two pie charts. So my dear students, do you know that these are the people who failed in history and these are the people who failed in geography? Do you understand why this common area, man? Why this common area? Common area implies the people who failed in both the subjects. So whenever this kind of questions are given, obviously we will be taking something like this. Student, do you understand that? So actually to handle this kind of questions, we usually start from the total. So we take 27% in the common area. 27% is the percentage of people who fail in both history and geography. You can see that. Student, now just look at this. 30% students failed in history. 30% students failed in history. But in common area, we already see 27. So we can take the remaining 3%. You understand, man? You understand, because we already have 27 in common area. We take the remaining 3. See, 3 plus 27, 30%. Can you see this? I hope so. Now when it comes to geography, 35% students failed in geography, but out of 35, 27 is already there in common area. We can take the remaining 8. Therefore, from this what we can understand, how many students completely failed, man? 3 in history and 27 in both the subjects and 8 in geography. We can see 38% of the students failed in both the subjects. Student, do you understand, man? 38% students in both the subjects. It can be either history, it can be or geography, or it can be like anything. Come on student, please respond. 38% students failed in all the subjects. We declare that 62% pass in both the subjects, and this particular 50 to 62% is given 248. You can see that 248 people pass both the subjects. So actually in percentage they are 62%. So when 62% is 248, now let us find what is the total number. Therefore 100 into 248 divided by 62. Student, am I clear to you, man? So this cancels for 4 times. Therefore your answer must be 400. So we can see that your answer is 400. Come on student, please look at that. In place of 27% students, you please take 25%. Okay, right. In place of this number, you please take 180. Answer the same question and give me your answer. Please look at that. Come on student. So we are actually handling 2 different subjects, history and geography. So these are the people who fail in history, man. These are the people who fail in history, and these are the people who fail in geography. And of course we have 25% failed in both the subjects. Therefore we are starting from that 25%. We must be taking that 25% first, because that is the common area we are considering. Right. Tell me student, 30% failed in history. So out of 30%, because 25% is already there, it is enough to take the remaining 5%. Out of 35% failed in geography, out of 35, 25% is already there, it is enough to take the remaining 10. Tell me student, how many failed, how many people failed altogether? 5 plus 25 plus 10. Therefore we can say 40% failed in both the subjects, and hence we declare that remaining 60% students pass, and that 60% is 180. Therefore 100% is equal to how much? Yeah, my dear students, you are right. So yes, what you said is right. Your answer must be 300. Very good. Another question we can definitely answer. Yes students, shall I move on to next question please? I hope that yes. Let me check it out. See, so this is about the vegetarian lunch, and this is about the non-vegetarian. This is vegetarian and this is about the non-vegetarian. So whenever this kind of questions are given, we will be starting from the common area, which is 15%. So 15% is the common area where we have the people who take both the lunch, and yeah, here we go. 60% had vegetarian lunch. Out of 60%, 15% is already taken. Therefore it is enough to take the remaining 45%. You understand, my dear students, why I am taking that? Yeah, good. Now 30% had non-vegetarian lunch. 30%, but we have 15% in common, so we can take the remaining 15%. Now come on students, so let me see how many people have taken either of the lunches. We can see that 45 plus 15 plus 15, it is understandable that 75% of the people have taken any of the lunch. Any of the lunch. It can be either vegetarian only, it can be or only non-vegetarian, it can be both vegetarian and non-vegetarian. But anyway, we can see that 75% of the people have taken the lunch for sure. Therefore, only 25% of the population did not take either of the lunch. Therefore, your answer is 25% of 96. What is 25% of 96, my dear students? It is 24. Now we declare that 24 students did not take either of the lunch. Now just look at that. I am going to make some changes in the question. Please try to answer. Student, in place of 15%, you take 20%. Okay. And in place of 96, you please take 300 and get the answer for the same question again. Yeah, student, now yes, this time vegetarian and non-vegetarian lunch. So this is about vegetarian, this is about non-vegetarian. Anyway, 20% of the population is taking both, so 20 is the common area. And we can see that 60% had taken vegetarian, therefore the remaining 40%, because 20% is already in common area. And then we can see 30% in non-vegetarian category. Out of 30%, 20% is already take, we have another 10%. So if we can see that 40 plus 20 plus 10, we can say 70% of the population have taken either of the lunches, which means 30% of the population did not take anything. So we have to calculate 30% of 300, which is 90. So probably this question will help you to get it perfect. So look at this question. Here we go. Student, just listen to me. When 72% of the students in a college offered English, then how come 42% of the people can offer Hindi, man? The reason why we are discussing these questions are because they are very important in competitions. Student, now listen to me. When 72% of the students are already taken English, then do you think that another 42% are remaining? No, because in percentages the total has to be only 100. Then how come this will happen, man? Yeah. This happens only in one particular case. Shall I tell you when? So this happens only in one particular case. You see, when 72 plus 42, tell me how much it is? It is 114. 72 plus 42, so this is 114. Student, if any number is more than 100, that particular percentage should be offering more Hindi and English. Student, now the question is, the total number of students are 500. Out of 500, we have to get 14%. So what is 14%, man? 14% of 500. Therefore, your answer must be 70. Okay, man? So do you understand why actually what is the problem, you know? When 72% already took English, then how can you say 42% can take Hindi? No, it is not possible. If it has to be possible, it is only some persons must be taking both. Student, I think another question will help you to get it right. Okay. Now student, let me give you this question. Probably you will be able to get it right. Student, in place of 72%, let me make some changes in the question, man. In place of 72%, you consider 70%. Okay. And in place of 42%, you consider 40% and answer the same question again. Because when 70% offered English, you will not be able to have the remaining 40%. If any such thing happens, it crosses 100%, which is not possible. The percentage cannot be more than 100%. If any such thing happens, we have to subtract 100% from that. So we have 10% offering both. Now we declare that there are 10% of the people who offer both English as well as Hindi, and therefore we need to get 10%. So we need to get 10% of 500. What is 10% of 500, my dear students? You know that? That is 50. So I think yes, this is okay for you. So let me move on to next question. Now please look at this question. When 30% of a number, is added to 35, when 30% of a number is added to 35, the result is number itself. Student, could you see that? In percentages, I have taken only 30%. Actually, I have taken only 30%. Still, I have to take another 70% to get the number back. 30% anyway I took, I have to take another 70%. But in place of 70%, what I took, you know, I took 35. So do you understand? Student, am I clear to you, man? You understand why 70%? Because I took only 30%. I still have to take another 70%. So in place of 70%, I took 35. So 35 should be taken as 70%. So when 70% is 35, the question is, what is 100%? Student, am I clear to you? What is 100%? Right? Let me make some changes in the question. Probably this time you will get it. You please note down this question. I want to make some changes in the question so that I can explain you this one with more perfect. Here we go. Student, okay. Tell me what is your answer for the same question. The point is so interesting, man. You have taken only 40% of the number, and it is, yes, you have to take another 60%. In place of 60%, you have taken 240. So remember, my dear students, 240 is nothing but 60% of the number. So when 60% is 240, now let us calculate what is 100%. 100 into 240 by 60, you cancel for 4 times, therefore your answer is 400. Thank you, student. So tomorrow we continue with the new concepts.